Hey everybody, how's it going? Andriki Namaskaram, Prithvi Mogari here again, host of Masalainurdosa Presents and Telugu's. We got in touch with Deepak Reddy. He is going to be joining us in about 4 minutes. And so there's Anil. Anil, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us. Thank you everybody for coming back, joining us. So really excited for this interview with Deepak Reddy. Director of Manasanamaha. In the meantime, while I have you guys here, I am going to ask one of you guys to send me a request to go on live with me. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about the movie. If you guys have watched it, what you liked it. Anil, why don't you hop on with me real quick if that is possible, and we can get Deepak on board once he is when he's joined us. But in the meantime, let me see if we can get Anil on board, the guy who even introduced me to the movie. If not, if anybody else wants to go on live with me while we wait for Deepak, that is what is up, brother? Anil. Namaskaram.
I know I look like I just woke up because that's kind of what just happened. Hello.
I am so sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no. I was just telling everybody in my last live session that you were the one that put me on to Manasanamaha.
Yep.
And thank you so much for that. That would have never
anytime.
sparked this. Yeah. When did you watch it, and how did it make you feel?
So one of my friends was credited as the creative director on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'd first heard about it and news broke, I was like, okay, let's go check it out. Obviously, it's a friend's project. I want to go watch it.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I was like, this kind of is a herald back to RGV. Like his MO was, he always innovated on the taking of film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed this earlier in a previous concept, but it for a 15-minute short, right?
Mm-hmm.
The innovation that was technically found in the aspects of filmmaking were
Mm-hmm.
something that I was like, all right, cool. This is the new gold standard, right?
Yeah.
Not just in terms of story and acting, but like on the production and technicality side of it. This
Mm-hmm.
is what film is capable of if you just invest a little bit of pre-planning into it and a little bit of time into it. So definitely want to see what was going on in his mind when he was sort of ideating around these ideas and like, how can we push the envelope forward?
Absolutely. No, definitely. Like I said before, guys, if you guys haven't watched it, go check it out on YouTube. It's also on a link in my post. And I don't think I'm giving away too much when I say that the really refreshing narration comes from also a segment of the movie where you just see kind of a montage that moves actually in reverse, and that is so unique. We've seen kind of like flashback storytelling here. Here the protagonist is in the present, and then like, let me tell you what happened that led me up to here. But this is physically just actually moving backwards, and I can tell, Anil, in certain scenes how intentional and thoughtful he was in selecting the visuals. Like I never really saw that. Have you seen something like that, or an homage to this kind of I guess filmmaking before? Like
To that effect, no, right? Which is why, again, it has such a technical value to it. And everybody says a picture's worth 1,000 words. So when you're a director and you're deciding, okay, what image am I trying to show, or what image would tell the story the best? I think creativity and innovation in that parameter is what provides so much of its, I guess, like freshness. And you can tell the same story, but when it's told with a different perspective or a different view or a different methodology, it becomes a different story experience for the listener, which is what I think he extremely did, or what he did extremely well. And I'm just really glad that short films can be this successful at scale.
I've never seen a short film until you recommended this one for me. Thank you. And then I watched a whole slew of them. And I think Deepak just joined us. I will let you go. Anil, thank you so much
Absolutely. Thank you
Uh,
for having me.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing this with me. Um, let's get Deepak on board. Okay, and we have once again, welcome to Masalainurdosa presents Telugu's. We have a very, very special guest with us today, Telugu film director Deepak Reddy Garu of Manasanamaha fame. Thank you so much for joining us, Andy.
Hi, Brady.
Hi.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. It was really encouraging and moving when you were so responsive to my request to do this interview. Asala like ఈ వారం అంతా మీ ఇంటర్వ్యూ గురించి పోస్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు అసలు ఈ వారం అసలు ఎంత మంది యంగ్ తెలుగు అమెరికన్ క్రియేటివ్స్ తో కనెక్ట్ అయ్యానో చెప్పలేను అనమాట. దట్ ఆర్ సో మోటివేటెడ్ and so interested in hearing you because you also have a very similar background. You studied here and I think a science background, engineering, and then but you focused on your passion. We would love to get to know you a little better today. So thank you so much for coming on. So I think I talked at length about Manasanamaha before you came on, Asala, the short film, and that it's won so many awards. Last time me and you spoke, Mano matladinappudu almost 120 awards win ayindi ani annaru. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's about 120.
Yeah, and even recent ga kuda me Instagram lo or Facebook lo unko award win ayindi annattu chusano. So congratulations. So Manasanamaha is getting attention not only from the Telugu film industry but also the international film industry. Chappandi, what's been the response like to you?
It's been phenomenal. To be frank, I never expected this kind of accolades and awards and all. I never had this in my mind. I never believed in the awards. I didn't even plan to send the film for festivals and all. But fortunately, I happened to send it first to few festivals where I got I directly got awards, not just about selections and all. So I was a bit excited. And okay, ఇలా ఉందన్నమాట అయితే మన సినిమా. It's not only about as the filmmaking is universal and the concept is universal. So I thought a lot of people been liking it. Not just liking it, awards stardom another. I wasn't expecting it. So then I got to know about okay, this is somewhat universal and చెప్పి. So atlane I started sending it to more festivals and fortunately it's been winning. The win percentage has been like pretty good,
I would say that the thing that really jumped out for me is, refreshing narration, but just the actual, I think editing was like one of the kings, the crowning things in this movie for me. So once again, congratulations. So
thank you.
What can you tell us about the inception of this idea of Manasanamaha? What tell us about how you were when did you think of it? What sort of sparked that you were going to use this concept of telling a story backwards? If you could give us some insight into that.
So I've been interviewed by a lot of people. So this was the most common question that I've been asked. ఏంటంటే love stories have been stereotyped. Romance has been like the most stereotyped genre in filmmaking anamata. So boy meets girl and they end up not being together or just being together. There's like happy or sad endings. So it has to end in a way. So ఎందుకు ప్రతిసారి ఒక్కటేలాగా ఎండ్ అవ్వాలి? Why can't it be in a way where the story can be started from the ending and can end at the beginning? So that's why what I did was, so that was quite a challenging thing. So to tell the story in backwards. And నా పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే ఎండింగ్ లో స్టార్ట్ చేసి బిగినింగ్ లో ఏం చేద్దామని. So even if it's a conventional story, it would look like an unconventional one. We just the narrative. So the narrative technique that I used was pretty new, and so it was. I don't say that it's the first ever any. So it's been like used few times, but not in a film. So it's been used in a song, a musical. So the very first song that I've seen was Coldplay's "Scientist." So it's been done in like 15 years back, I think, sometime like 2004, 2005 లో ఎప్పుడో చేశారు. So దాని తర్వాత
Scientist.
yeah. So after that, Kamal Hassan tried to make it like, it's almost similar song that is done in a film in Telugu, in Tamil. So Manmadan Anbu ani, so he's made a film. So దాంట్లో ఒక సాంగ్ లో he used this technique of telling a story in reverse. So అప్పుడు నేను చూసినప్పుడు నాకు అనిపించింది, ఇట్ వాజ్ 2010 లో when I watched that మూవీ, లైఫ్ లో ఎప్పుడైనా ఇలాంటి తీయాలి. సో బట్ దాని కాన్సెప్ట్ అండ్ అలాంటి కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు పెట్టాలి అన్న దానికి ది స్టోరీ ఆల్సో హ్యాస్ టు సపోర్ట్ ఇట్. సో అలా అనుకున్నాను, బట్ ఫార్చునేట్లీ ఈ ఐడియా వచ్చినప్పుడు వై కాంట్ అండ్ లవ్ స్టోరీ కెన్ బి టోల్డ్ ఇన్ రివర్స్ అని అనిపించినప్పుడు ఐ థాట్ దిస్ ద రైట్ థింగ్, అండ్ దే యూ యూజ్ దిస్ డైలాగ్ ఇన్ ద ఫిల్మ్ వేర్ యూ కెన్ సీ ప్రజెంట్ చేదుగా ఉంటుంది, ఫ్యూచర్ భయంగా ఉంటుంది. The only thing that's memorable, that's sweet is past. That's always sweet. So no matter what, it makes you feel nostalgic all the time. So nostalgia is always sweet. It can never be. So a dialogue to connect చేసి I thought I should tell that story in reverse. So that's how. So the inception, I can say. So it's more like a very personal interest to make this story than an inspiration, like some personal life inspirations and all.
Sure.
So that's how I wanted to use it.
Okay, very nice. Like ఈ సినిమా తీస్తున్నప్పుడు, when you were making this, what are some of the important lessons that you learned? Like anything new that you've come across that you took away from this movie?
Yeah, definitely, because ఈ సినిమా నేను తీసేటప్పుడే అనుకున్నాను, నథింగ్, the whole film should look new. So it should be it should personally be that is a personal challenge for me. So making wise ala, but this film has to look new అనిపించింది. So that's why if you can see there's a lot of new. Generally you see point of view, the kind of point of view is a kind of narrative technique that's been used in films, like majorly in horrors and thrillers. It won't be actually used in romantic comedies. So it's not a technique that you use. So, but నేను దీనిలో యూజ్ చేశాను. So how I've used it, point of view is actually, it's a boring technique. You can't watch it for more than 1 or 2 minutes. So but there are some kind of films like Hardcore Henry films ఉన్నాయి, so where you use the whole film, but it's very చాలా problematic to watch. The kind of point of view ante you need to be in the narrator's shoe anamata for the whole film, like whatever enta time unte anta. But akkada when I watched Hardcore Henry, I hated that film. I hated like anything. I hated it like anything. It was very painful for the eyes and all, but but that's a technique where that's majorly used for personifying the character and what. So that's the technique. So why can't I use it? If I'm using it, how can I make it look new and clear? So all 4 minutes of the film is mostly shot in point of view shots, where you get to see your own girlfriend. Like you can see that. So this is how my girlfriend used to behave. So that's a major point, how to make how, like I'm not generalizing this stuff, but yeah, if your girlfriend behaves like this, then you can get to see some of the relatable things that she has done for you. So dan kosam adi, dan tarvata there's a technique where the actor directly talks to the audience. So that's called you're breaking the third wall and you're talking to the audience directly. This is one more kind of technique. So these are not usually used in films anamata. So if it cheyali, so I don't know if it works or not. That's a second thing where audience get to see your movie and then idi baagunda leda tarvata. So if I didn't know that people will like it or not. So I just wanted to use it because I wanted to tell a story in this way. So this is a very common story where you fall in love and you break up and you again fall in love in life. This is what happens in real life. But what made it, I just wanted to tell it in a different way. So our challenges నాకు తీసేటప్పుడు, that was a problem where the technicians were facing to understand the film. వాళ్ళకి అర్థమయ్యేది కాదనమాట. So So the technicians, the actors and all, it was a huge challenge because they haven't done something like this before. So that was a tough thing. But our time నాకు ఎక్కువ spend చేసింది pre-production లో to make them understand this is what I want to make. This is what this will be something like this. So they still used to have questions even on set. ఇది కాదు ఇలాగా చెప్పింది నేను అంటే they would have visualized something else. If there's a common shot where you put a wide shot and mid shot and close up, this is what you use in a conventional storytelling technique. So edit లో ఫస్ట్ ఒక వైడ్ కొట్టేసి తర్వాత క్లోజ్ అప్ కి వెళ్తే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఫిల్మ్ మేకింగ్ దట్ వీ జనరలీ యూజ్ బికాస్ ఎమోషన్ లూజ్ అవ్వడానికి, సో ఎమోషన్ బిల్డప్ చేయడానికి దిస్ డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కన్వెన్షనల్ స్టోరీ టెల్లింగ్ టెక్నిక్స్. బట్ that's been broken అనమాట. So grammar, the film grammar that you generally use while making normal films. So this was like a lot of challenges, I'm telling you, because so as it was very fresh, it was my perspective basically. So ఇలా చెప్పాలి అనేది నా విధానం అన్నమాట. సో అది చెప్పేటప్పుడు it was difficult for me to make people understand.
Right. And how long did it take for you to come up each scene? So when we're going to the part of the film that is going in reverse, like Adi to make as one of my friends yesterday, Mohan and Pavan Mahendra had mentioned, how do you make a narrative go forward while physically the images are moving backwards? How long did it take for you to say, okay, nenu first ఈ అబ్బాయి ఈ బీర్ క్యాన్ తాగుతున్నట్టు చూపిస్తాను, దాని తర్వాత దాని ముందు ఇలాగా, అది ఎంతసేపు పట్టింది, ఎన్నేళ్ళు పట్టింది or ఎన్నాళ్ళు పట్టింది? How did you come up with that?
సో ఐడియా ఇలా చేద్దాము అనే ఐడియా ఫస్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఒక మ్యూజిక్ వీడియో చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా. ఇట్స్ ఎ స్టోరీ విచ్ విల్ బి ఇన్కార్పొరేటెడ్ ఇన్ 5-minute మ్యూజికల్ వీడియో. దట్స్ వాట్ మై ఫస్ట్ ప్లాన్ వాజ్. బట్ లేటర్ వాట్స్ ద పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ మేకింగ్ మ్యూజిక్ వీడియో? బీయింగ్ ఎ డైరెక్టర్, ఐ నీడ్ టు టెల్ ఎ స్టోరీ. It's a complete story. So why should I just stop with a song? So that's also a story that's been told in a song. So if you can get to see, you delete the whole film and just keep that song, you still get to see a story there. That was my initial plan.
Okay.
Just start the film with a breakup and end with meeting for the first time. This is what the story of the song was. But దాన్ని నేను I put a beginning, middle and end, and extended that story into a bigger ఇది అనమాట, the whole story అనమాట. బట్ దానికి నేను ఆ రివర్స్ అనేది నేను స్టోరీ రాయడానికి it just took me 2 days. So I just wrote the story in 2 days.
Okay.
So, but it was the very first draft. I just wrote the story, the first draft was like that, and it took me a week or so to the final draft. But the problem was, the working on the pre-production, where reverse లో చెప్పాలన్నప్పుడు, సో ఈ షాట్ ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అవ్వాలి, ఎలా ఎండ్ అవ్వాలి, సో what are the properties that I should be using to tell this story. So if you can get to see, these are the common shots that you usually see. So I broke that whole reverse montages into like 6 to 7 montages. So every shot has been it's broken into 6-7 shots, where it's a common thing when you break up and you want to get out of that relationship. The common location that you will be in is the pub or a bar, where you will be drinking and you want to usually these are, I'm not stereotyping, but these are the phases that you generally see.
Sure.
So I didn't want to go for altogether different location, different geography that general people can't connect. So I wanted to use that the locations and all where people usually go. So there's a pub shot where we start up, and where see అలా నేను రాసేటప్పుడే ఆ లొకేషన్స్ ని మైండ్ లో పెట్టుకున్నాను అనమాట. సో నాకు విజువల్ వచ్చేసింది అనమాట. దీస్ ఆర్ ద వాయిస్ ఓవర్స్ వే యూ సే తను ఎంత ప్రేమించానో తెలుసా. See, the narrator usually when he's narrating, so he's narrating it to the audience. So ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే రివర్స్ లో స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు, so he's lost basically. The first shot in the pub where he's going with the beer and the burger and fries. So he ఒకరిని తెలియకుండా ఒకరిని గుద్దేస్తాడు అనమాట. గుద్దేసి సో అవి కింద పడిపోతూ ఉంటాయి. సో దట్స్ ద ఫస్ట్ షాట్ దట్ ఐ టేకెన్ like స్టోరీలో. సో దట్ ఫ్రైస్ గెట్స్ బ్యాక్ ఇన్ టు ద, సో అది వచ్చి బ్యాక్ వెళ్ళిపోతే బియర్ కింద పడిపోయి, బియర్ వచ్చి లోపల పడిపోద్ది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద టెక్నిక్ usually when you're lost, everybody around you are doing their works. So one girl is like putting a lipstick on her lips, and he says So he'll be using all this general గా తన చుట్టుపక్కల జరిగే దాన్ని కలిపేసి he'll be using in dialogues. That's what he
Nice.
uses in the whole film. సో హోల్ ఫిల్మ్. సో అలా ఆ షాట్ లో అలా ఈ షాట్ లో అలా అనేది ఈ విజువల్స్ ఏంటంటే బికాజ్ ఇట్స్ ద ఫిల్మ్ ఈస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ మోర్ విజువల్ దెన్ డైలాగ్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఫిల్మ్.
తప్పకుండా.
సో నేను రాసేటప్పుడే సీన్స్ రాసేసాను అనమాట, లైక్ జాగ్రఫీ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐ హావ్ యూస్డ్. సో ఆ రివర్స్ మాంటాజెస్ అన్నవన్నీ దానిలోనే నేను అలానే రాసుకున్నాను అనమాట. సో అలా రాసుకున్నాను బికాస్ ఇట్ వోంట్ వర్క్ ద సేమ్ వే ఇఫ్ యూ మేక్ ఎ ఫీచర్ ఫిల్మ్ ఆర్ సమ్ అదర్ థింగ్. యాజ్ ఇట్స్ a short film, it was like, I could put my more of my vision into writing the scene itself than the dialogue and the other stuff. So everything is interrelated, correlated. The dialogue goes well with the visual, like all the time. So that's how I've written the reverse thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. Adi definitely one of the highlights of the movie. But so Manasanamaha has happened. You're getting great response. Next into Miku.
Next time making a feature, I've started working on it recently. See, I had that idea from very long time. So it's going to be something like Manasanamaha. See, if you can get to see Manasanamaha, there's no story in the film. It's just a storytelling, the way I told the story. So the main story is being saved for the feature. So when I started making Manasanamaha, I got the idea to make a feature too. So with a bigger story, bigger span, and bigger geography and everything.
Right.
So this is just whatever you've seen till now is just a 5%. Like it's mostly like a teaser for the feature.
Interesting.
So where there's no much story, but there's a much of a technique, and also the style, the narrative, and how it could be. Anadi, just I put it like a demo for the feature film. So the feature is not going to be like this, but it's going to be something like this. So I'm working on it, but due to this thing and all, so I don't think we will be shooting it anytime soon, but sometime next year.
Okay. Our friend here, Mohan, he's a aspiring director and screenplay writer. He is asking is this feature film going to be a Gautam Menon production?
No, see, I'm a great fan of Gautam sir. So I've just shown him the film, like the short that I've made, and he's extremely loved it because so like he's been an inspiration. Like I'm a great fan of Gautam's. So you can see my films, and some people, like if you can get to see the comments on the Tamil version. So it's been dubbed into Tamil by Gautam sir.
Nice.
So it's been released, like it's been a month or 1.5 months, more than 1.5 months. But if you can get to see, a lot of people thought it's made by Gautam. So that's how it has impacted me. If you can get to see,
got it. Wow,
showing women in your life. He shows women in a very good light in his films and all the characterizations and all.
Right.
So that's kind of he's kind of inspiring. It's not Gautam's production. It's not going to be a Gautam's production. I have a different production for the feature. But yeah, maybe it'll be bilingual. There's a high chance to be a bilingual. I spoke to Gautam sir about this.
Okay.
And maybe he might be involved with the Tamil version.
Got it. Okay, fantastic. So మనం మీ feature film గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నప్పుడు you expressed interest in connecting with some Telugu American artists and actors, maybe technicians, having some people here. Adi alaga, why is it important for you to work with the community here?
Yeah, so if you can get to see my film, see, I love doing. I don't do dubbing, filmmaking wise. Aithe naaku koncham I had some specific interests. See, I hate dubbing. So dubbing అనేది నేను చేయను అన్నమాట. I do live sound because I love more naturality. I just want my films to be more natural.
100%.
So I about a lot of things. Even the lighting, if you can get to see in my films, it looks more natural. The sound, so a lot of technicalities. So if I'm going to make a film, I probably don't want to go for dubbing. I want to cast natural actors. So who can speak proper, native Indian American maybe. So all if that's my first priority. If I don't get, then I have to do something else. But
Yeah.
my first priority is about making everything naturally.
Yeah.
So actors gani, technicians gani, everything. And my
Mm.
film is it's based in the US. It'll
Mm.
have most of its story in the US. So
Yeah.
so like I've worked for a film called Fida in the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I worked in I worked hardly for like 40 days.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I've got to see a lot of people who are interested and who want to be part of films, and a lot of people have asked me, and we even took them for Fida. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to different Telugu houses, like
Mm-hmm.
while I was shooting, because I was the only person who's been hired because I lived in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very pretty aware of the geography and all over there. So నేను వెళ్ళిపోయేసి
Mm-hmm.
అందరు నాకు హెల్ప్ కావాలంటే everybody used to come forward and help us,
Mm-hmm.
with Telugu
Yeah.
community. So a lot of
Yeah.
people. Then I got to say, okay, there are a lot of people who are interested. They can't
Mm-hmm.
come to India to do this, but they're అక్కడ
Mm-hmm.
ఉంటూనే if they get any chance, a lot of people wants to do it అన్నమాట. సో అది
Yeah.
చూసి నాకు అనిపించింది ఇంకా
Yeah.
more. See, my film is more based in the US, like it takes place in the
Mm-hmm.
US, like most of.
Yeah.
So why don't I make it more natural అనిపించింది అనమాట. So there are a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. Telugu people
Mm-hmm.
ఉన్నారనమాట. సినిమా
Yep.
చేయాలి, సినిమాలో సాంగ్స్ పాడాలి. See, I have a lot of friends like Manisha. She's a very good
Mm-hmm.
singer. She came from US to India,
California.
and
Mm-hmm.
she sings. She's a very good.
Yeah.
This is a great talent. There are a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
So she's like too professional, but yeah, some people want to be there, and some people are trying in Hollywood, so they want to become actors and all. So
Yeah.
this is a very uh, US based film, and I think I
Mm.
thought, so it's too early to talk about it now. I can't talk about casting and all, because I'm still working on it, working on the
Mm-hmm.
script and the pre-production. So but
Mm.
when I'm ready, this is what my plan is. Like I want to do with people that are really interested.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. No, I think I speak for the Telugu American community when we say that when we really appreciate you saying that అది ఆ సినిమాలో చూస్తున్నప్పుడు as a Telugu American we want it to feel more natural and believable. లైక్ నేను ఇప్పుడు మా అమ్మమ్మ గారు ఊరికెళ్ళి పల్లెటూరులో నేను సినిమా చూస్తుంటే ఆ హీరో అమెరికాలో ఉన్నాడు అనుకోండి, వాళ్ళు కూడా చూసి అంటారు లైక్ వాడు నీలా ఉండట్లేదే, లైక్ ఇట్ సీమ్స్ లైక్ ఏ kind of exaggerated version of who we are. And so I think we would really like that and love that. We have some questions in the comments, which I promise I will absolutely get to. But kind of moving on, just kind of getting into you. What kind of change do you want to bring to the Telugu movie industry? What kind of impact do you want to leave?
See, Telugu cinema చాలా పెద్దదన్నమాట. చాలా ఇట్స్ ఎ హ్యూజ్ థింగ్. See, people are making some this kind of films. మనం చూసే వెళ్తుంటే there are audience for every kind of film. So if people are making films, మీరు చెప్పినట్టు which is not so natural, and they're making films which are not so natural, అంటే ఇలా ఉన్నాడు కదా ఒక ఎన్ఆర్ఐ అనుకుంటాం, కానీ అలా ఉండే వాళ్ళని చూస్తేనే ఎన్ఆర్ఐస్ అని బిలీవ్ చేసే ఆడియన్స్ ఉన్నారు ఎక్కువ. So it's been used like that. And a lot of different kind of films have been made because there are audience, like since ages, like since decades. సో అలాంటి సినిమాలు చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ఉన్నారు. సో ఏంటంటే ఎవ్రీ ఫిల్మ్ మేకర్ కి దేర్ ఓన్ స్టైల్ ఉంటుంది, బట్ కొంతమంది చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటారు. ఇలా ఉంటేనే నచ్చుతుందేమో, సో ఐ హ్యావ్ టు మేక్ లైక్ దిస్. అండ్ సమ్ పీపుల్ మేక్ ఫిల్మ్స్ అండ్ దే ఫ్లాప్, అండ్ పీపుల్ సే దట్ దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ద వే యూ షుడ్ బి మేకింగ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్, దే కాంప్రమైజ్ అండ్. బట్ నాకేంటంటే ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు మేక్ ఎ చేంజ్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్, బట్ ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు మేక్ ఫిల్మ్స్ లైక్ అన్కాంప్రమైజింగ్ ఫిల్మ్స్. ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు మేక్ some things which are like which makes me happy, and which makes me feel like these are real and they are connecting and all. That's my personal style and taste. You can get to see the short film. There are a lot of films that has been made which has multiple love stories and hero failing and getting back to. And this is a short film which I made just the way I liked. So if you're liking that film right now, so it means that you've got connected to me. So I want to create my own audience, and I should be able to deliver films that I like, and also at the same time should be liked by other people too. That should be fine.
Right. 100%. అది ఆ రెస్పాన్స్ నాకు చాలా నచ్చింది. ఎందుకంటే we see this formula type thing, and I want I really would love to see artists, directors who are, you know, unabashedly them, that they embrace their style and they're making something that they enjoy and not making something for somebody else. So I really applaud you for saying that. But yeah, so you know, you see, we have a bunch of Telugu American budding artists here. And what sort of advice do you want to give to any of the young people who are wanting to get into the Telugu film industry? Something that maybe you wish somebody had told you.
See, I have friends over US who are ఎట్లా అంటే there some people are studying and trying to be in films still. అంటే ఇండియాలో ఎలా ఉన్నారో అలా ఉంటారు అక్కడ కొంతమంది. So some people are completely into film. They get into acting, they get into direction, they get into cinematography, and they take it as a full-time profession. That's one kind of thing that you usually do. That has to be done like that. See, when you're doing masters to get a job, you need to do masters or you need to do something. So see, the same is the case with acting too. You have to learn acting, you have to learn direction and get into films. So this is the one kind of technique that's being used. But a lot of people won't get to do that. See, for example, me, Nenunnanu, Naga, I didn't get the chance to study film for 4 years or 3 years to do masters or bachelors in film technology or something. I had to do masters from engineering, and I just have to come back to make this because my passion is here. Like I couldn't do anything else. Like I couldn't, work in like sciences. I wasn't so interested. Enroll చేసా 10 years. See, bachelor's చేసా, intermediate చేసా, దాని తర్వాత master's చేసా, but still I wasn't interested in that because always my thoughts were here. So ఇటే ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి నేను I could get back to here. But meanwhile ఏంటంటే it's a constant procedure. You learn, you watch films and you get to learn something out of it. Like a lot of world cinema, get exposed to world cinema, and you learn something out of that films, and you practice. You practically you start doing it and all. So అది నా kind of ఏంటంటే I'm a lazy guy. I can't handle like 2-3 things at a time. I can't go for a job and come back. But there are some people that are like నాకు నిజంగా షాక్ అవుతాను నేను. See, how can they go to office and work for like whole day, like whole week? I have some friends who are Canadian citizens and US citizens and like work there 5 days 5 days full గా వర్క్ చేస్తారు. Weekends వచ్చి they learn filmmaking and they do some short films and all. Good or bad is a different thing, but they're able to do that. That's a great thing. So people have that. A lot of people balance both. For me, it was like very difficult. I couldn't do that. That's why I got back to India, and I just wanted to make film as a full-time profession. So
that's awesome. And it actually imagine like I'm talking to these young artists, and they all I've heard this guy Pavan and Mohan also say the same exact thing. Like yanta try chesina, they're just not able to let themselves be into anything else other than film. And so I think that is that's the sign that you are so completely passionate about it, that you're in love with it. And I think that's awesome. So you were talking a little bit about world cinema, but not just limited to international movies, but what are some of the films and directors that have left a lasting impact on you, or maybe even inspired you to take up filmmaking?
I'm a great fan of Stanley Kubrick.
I saw that WhatsApp picture is the shirt.
Oh, that's I have a lot of
WhatsApp
t-shirts, graphic t-shirts with Kubrick on it. So he's my favorite filmmaker, and I love Akira Kurosawa's films. Like these are the directors who have mostly formed the rules for filmmaking and also broke the filmmaking rules. Like ippudu cheyadam, it's a different thing. They have done almost introduced and broke a lot of filmmaking techniques way back in 1940s, 50s, 30s.
Right.
So Kurosawa is one, Hitchcock is one, and you come to Telugu, I love Janyala Garu's movies. Janyala Garu is one of the greatest writers and directors that we had.
Yes.
I love Sukumar sir a lot. Sukumar sir is one of my favorite filmmakers.
Yeah.
Of course, Rajmouli Garu, like who has broken all the barriers.
Definitely.
A lot. I can say a lot. అంటే ఒక్కొక్కరి నుంచి ఒక్కొక్కటి నేర్చుకున్నాం. I don't have a single filmmaker, but if you want to say one or two names, that's Stanley Kubrick for sure. And I love Nolan a lot. I love his films. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite filmmakers. Yeah, a
Okay.
lot list goes on.
Yeah, no, definitely.
List.
But and I think Stanley Kubrick is a very like a notable figure in filmmaking and very different. But I don't hear Telugu directors bring him up at the very beginning of the list. And so, uh, just out of curiosity, what is it about his filmmaking that really attracts you to him?
See, ఇప్పుడు ఒక సీన్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నాం. See, what I did was, if you get to see my film, so I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make a film, the 4-minute film in a POV. So point of views are not new, but how can you say it in a new manner? So,
Right.
అంటే నేను ఎందుకు ఇలా ఆలోచించగలిగానంటే, the main impact is from Kubrick that has inspired me. So
Mm-hmm.
నేను దాన్ని చేయడం కోసం I've got to talk to my team, and I had designed a equipment which is called a helmet rig, which is
Mm-hmm.
being customizedly made. It is not a GoPro or a standard camera that we use for the POV. I
Mm.
wanted to use it in a specific manner where it shouldn't be distorted. GoPro is a common camera that you
Mm.
use. If you get to know, GoPro is a common camera which is
Oh no.
used for POV shots.
Yeah.
So, but it has distortion. అదేంటంటే 180 degrees కవర్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్
Mm.
ఆ కెమెరా పెడితే నీకు ఏంటంటే బ్యూటిఫికేషన్ కంటే ఇట్స్ మోర్ లైక్ ది పర్స్పెక్టివ్ విల్ బికమ్ డిస్టార్టెడ్. So it's
Mm.
not a common kind of shot that I wanted to use my romance film. It's a romance film.
Mm.
So I used a prime lens for this.
Mm.
సో విచ్ మేడ్ అలాంటి ఒక రిగ్ తయారు చేసి దాని మీద వెయిట్స్ పెట్టాం అనమాట. ఐ షేర్ ద పిక్చర్ విత్ యూ.
Mm-hmm.
ఐ థింక్ ఐ షేర్ ఇట్ ఆన్ మై ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ గెట్ టు సీ. సో
Mm-hmm.
దట్స్ అ డిఫరెంట్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ దట్ వీ హావ్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ టు గెట్ ది షార్ట్స్.
Mm-hmm.
ఇలాంటి ఐడియాలు ఎందుకు వస్తాయంటే, స్టాన్లీ క్యూబ్రిక్ ఇన్ 1950s has made a film called Barry Lyndon. So there's a film
Yeah.
called Barry Lyndon where he had to make a shot in a zero lighting, like
Mm-hmm.
practically zero aperture lens తో he had to make a film. So he introduced the lens.
Mm.
He got a lens manufactured to get that shot done.
Wow.
సో దట్ ఎట్లా వస్తుందంటే, నువ్వు ఒక పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో చెప్దాం కదా, దట్ కుడ్ హావ్ బీన్ డన్ ఇన్ డే లైట్. దెర్ ఇస్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఛాన్సెస్, లాట్ ఆఫ్
Mm-hmm.
వేస్ టు గెట్ దట్ షాట్ డన్.
Mm.
బట్ ఎందుకు పర్టికులర్లీ అలానే చేశాడు అనుకున్న దానికి, ఇట్ వాజ్ హిస్
Mm.
పర్స్పెక్టివ్. హీ వాంటెడ్ టు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ సంథింగ్ టు గెట్
Mm.
ఈ షాట్ డన్. అతనికి
Mm.
కావాల్సిన షాట్ తీయడానికి అతను కొత్త లెన్స్ ని క్రియేట్ చేయగలిగాడు విత్ ఇస్ జీరో అపర్చర్ లెన్స్, ఎస్
Yeah.
స్టాప్. సో దర్ ఎఫ్
Yeah.
స్టాప్స్ ఇన్ లెన్సెస్. సో ప్రాక్టికల్లీ జీరో ఎక్స్పోజర్ దగ్గర చేద్దామని డిసైడ్ అయిన తర్వాత హీ మేడ్ దట్ షాట్. యూ కెన్
Mm.
టైప్ ఇట్ ఆన్ యూట్యూబ్ అండ్ యుల్ గెట్ దట్ షాట్ టు
Mm.
the Barry Lyndon iconic lighting shot or something. You type it, you get it in YouTube, and you get to see the film,
Mm-hmm.
that scene. సో అలా ఎన్నో విషయాలు హీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ అనమాట. నాట్ ఓన్లీ హిమ్, లైక్ అకిరా కురోసావా అండ్ ఆల్, బట్ ఐ పర్సనలీ కనెక్ట్ టు స్టాన్లీ కుబ్రిక్ బికాస్ ది ఎమోషన్ and also the techniques that he has introduced were like pretty much like sound wise. Even Shining Door, if you get to see, has introduced a new kind of sync sound lo kuda. That was such an iconic shot where the guy is there's a small kid who will be
Mm-hmm.
bicycle, he'll be
Mm-hmm.
riding a bicycle. That's a whole long take and all where he gets to see. It's a horror film. సో
Mm.
ఆ సీన్ ప్రోగ్రెషన్ ఎలా ఉండేదానికి సౌండ్ ఎలా యూజ్ చేసాడు అన్నది. సో ఇవన్నీ దర్ లైక్ న్యూ ఇన్వెన్షన్స్. ఈజ్ లైక్ ఎ సైంటిస్ట్ హూస్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్
Mm.
లాట్ ఆఫ్ టెక్నిక్స్ టు జస్ట్ గెట్ ఎ షాట్ దట్ హీ వాంటెడ్. సో
Mm-hmm.
అలా నాకు ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఎ స్మాల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దట్ ఐ హావ్ ట్రైడ్ ఇన్ మై షార్ట్ ఫిల్మ్ దిస్ టైమ్ సేయింగ్,
Yeah.
బికాస్ ఇట్స్ టెక్నికలీ ఇన్నోవేటివ్. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐమ్ సేయింగ్. అలాంటి
Yeah,
ఎన్నో గొప్ప
definitely.
గొప్ప విషయాలు ఈజ్ డన్ అనమాట. సో ఈజ్ లైక్ అన్
Okay.
ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఫర్ మీ ఇన్ దట్ సెన్స్.
That's awesome. Okay. So last question of mine, and then we'll go to the audience. There's a bunch of questions. Like ఇక్కడ చాలా మంది ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ గా ఉన్నారు మీతో వర్క్ చేయడానికి or just ఇండస్ట్రీలో రావడానికి. If they're interested in connecting with you and helping you in any way they can, or offering their talents to you for your feature film, how can they get in touch with you? Is there a way or a channel that they can send their reels or resumes, anything?
Yeah, ఆల్రెడీ నేను రీసెంట్ గానే నేను పర్సనల్ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడినే పెట్టేశాను. ఐ ఆస్క్ పీపుల్ టు జస్ట్ సెండ్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీవన్ ఇస్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ టు అసిస్ట్ మీ. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ ఇస్ I need assistance. I'm always I worked on my own. I don't have writers or directors who are
Mm.
assisting me till now. So now
Mm.
I need, because I've started my feature and I wanted some people like who were interested and ఏంటంటే నాకు పంపిస్తారు. Like I've get lot of I'll be getting a lot of the main thing that is needed when you're working on a creative stuff is you have to be in sync with the person. They should be వాళ్ళు మనకు అర్థం అవ్వాలి, వాళ్ళ స్టైల్ కానీ ఏంటి కానీ మనకు క్లోజ్ గా ఉంటేనే we can work together. Otherwise, they can be like great people, నాకంటే ఎక్కువ టాలెంటెడ్ పీపుల్, నాకంటే ఎక్కువ తెలివి ఉన్న పీపుల్ కూడా నాతో మాట్లాడొచ్చు, బట్ ఏంటంటే నాకు సింక్ అవ్వలేదు అనుకో, ఐ కాంట్ వర్క్ విత్ దెమ్. సో ద కెమిస్ట్రీ దట్ ఈస్ నీడెడ్ విత్ మీ అండ్ ద సినిమాటోగ్రాఫర్ ఆర్ మీ ఆర్ ద ADs, దే షుడ్ బి అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్. సో అలాంటి వాళ్ళని నేను తీసుకోగలుగుతాను. దట్ ఈస్ వై ఐ పుట్ కాల్ ఫర్ ADs, assistant director and writers requirements, and I've got around hundreds, like 600-700 emails వచ్చాయి నాకు. I'm still నేను ఇంకా షార్ట్ లిస్ట్ చేస్తా ఉన్నా దాని నుంచి. సో ఆఫ్టర్ I have like that around like 10 to 12 people so far in the 300 emails that I've got, and I'll just call them up, and because ఎందుకంటే almost all of them are from India and Hyderabad or somewhere over here, so I can call up them from for the interview. So interview లో నాకు నచ్చితే I'll take them. See, that's how it works. And otherwise, if it's like from other, ఎవరైనా సరే, నాకైతే నాకు పని చేయాలంటే ఇప్పుడు రైట్ నో వచ్చి నాకు చేయక్కర్లేదు. వర్చువల్లీ ఆల్సో దే కెన్ స్టే ఇన్ టచ్ విత్ ఈమెయిల్స్, కాల్స్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్. బట్ ఏంటంటే రైట్ నో ఐ మీన్ దిస్ ప్లేస్ అనమాట, లైక్ ఫస్ట్ hiring ADs. That's the very first thing that I need to be doing, because I can't handle a lot of other stuff. It's a feature and it has a lot of work to do. So the work should be, distributed in between some assistants and all. So andukani I'm started off like this, but yeah, eventually when I go for casting, when I go for crew and all, then I'll be contacting other people. So I can't take ఎలా అంటే ఇట్స్ ఓకే. సి ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేని వాళ్ళు ఒక కైండ్ ఆఫ్ జాబ్ చేస్తారు, ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఇంకో కైండ్ ఆఫ్ జాబ్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఆర్ పీపుల్ హు హస్ వర్క్డ్ ఇన్ ఫిల్మ్స్ ఫర్ 10-12 years, I'll be hiring them as a co-director who can the major thing is about the scheduling, dates చూసుకోవడం, ఈ టైంలో ఎక్కడ షూట్ చేయాలి, అది దట్ కమ్స్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్. Freshers, it's little difficult for them. So freshers can work on other stuff. If you're creatively, you're very creative and you can do writing well and all, like, so then I'll hire them for other jobs. So I need to be, I've just started this. Konja time padtadi, but whoever is interested, they can directly contact me on Instagram. So I'm available everywhere. So ఇప్పుడు మనకున్న that's the major technique. See, I didn't know anybody before I made this short film in the industry. But after I made this film, I could reach Sukumar sir, I could reach Gautam sir, I could reach lot of other people. I could reach Krish, I could reach lot of Sandeep Reddy Vanga. I could reach lot of people. Then they see you have a content in your hand, so it's not a problem to send it to them. So somehow we can reach them. If they like it, then that's a different thing. They'll call you up and they'll do something. You can do anything. So e era lo, that's not even a problem. How can I reach a producer? How can I reach a director? It doesn't make sense, these kind of questions for me, because because I used to think like this, and it's so difficult to reach people. It is, but you have content that can excite them, that can make them offer you a film and all. It's not a difficult thing. All you need is to make a difference, make something that's unique and that is presentable and that is relatable. There's a lot of other things, and you have to put everything into a short or a music video or an audition tape or something. Then it's everything is electronic. I haven't met a lot of people. నేను ఎవరిని కలవలేదు, like producers గానీ. Like I've got calls from them because ఎవరో ఒకరు చూస్తారు. Put it on YouTube. That's a place where anybody can watch your stuff. See, అలా you can reach. So that's not a thing. If they want to reach me, I'm not, నేనేంటంటే I have a limited team. See, I can't accommodate for 100 people or 70 people. I can hardly reach 10 people or 15 people that can work under me or with me. Ante. So that all depends on if they like me, if I like them, if they fit my requirement and all, then that's an easy job. So I'm available on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. But the thing is how they write to me. నాకు ఎలాంటి మెసేజ్ పంపిస్తారు. So if I have to reply them back, it means like some people just put hi. So why should I respond? Like hi, hi bro, hi and hi bro. Then I don't respond. So if they say something like this is నేను ఇలాంటి చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను, నాకు ఇది ఇష్టం అని, నాకు ఇది నచ్చిందని అంటే, then okay, these people, he has liked this thing, so he's something, తను నన్ను రిలేట్ అవ్వగలుగుతాడు. సో ఐ కెన్ he has understood me. So then I can conversation కొంచెం పెంచొచ్చు. So if they're completely first contact లోనే first conversation if it's out, see I'm getting hundreds of messages basically to be frank. So అన్ని వచ్చేటప్పుడు so why should I spend time on it? So కొంతమంది అనుకుంటారు వీడు arrogant రిప్లై ఇవ్వడంటే see first what do you need if you need something from me or if you want to collaborate or something, so put it in a proper way. See ఇక్కడ introduction if it is bad then it can't go any further, so make some things easy for me and you.
సో బేసిక్లీ 2 పేజీలు రాయొద్దు అండ్ మధ్యలో ఎక్కడో ఏం కావాలో మీ దగ్గర నుంచి డోంట్ గెట్ ఇట్ లాస్ట్ ఇన్ దేర్. మేక్ యువర్ ఇంటెన్షన్స్ నోన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద గెట్ గో అండ్ you heard it from him guys. You can contact him on Instagram, Facebook. మీరు ఈమెయిల్ పెట్టారన్నారు.
My email is also there.
So email కూడా చేయొచ్చు. And if you have any issues on how to contact him, you guys so you can find him on Instagram, Facebook, and email. Okay, so now the fun part. We'll get to see what the audience has been writing. We have Tara Chandrasekhar here who said, can you release the storyboards and shot divisions for Manasanamaha? Which would be more helpful to know your work?
I've already I've released the storyboards long back. It's on my Instagram profile, you can check. Short division is a different thing. I need to put out the script. So a lot of people have been asking me about script. But one thing is, storyboard is a technical thing which makes you team andarki artham avadam kosam veskune oka common thing anamata. So that see I have the film in my mind, but people won't understand if I go on to set. That's why I need storyboards, and I got that. So the script won't be any different from the film. So a lot of people have been but script in pedtanu. The thing is, I need to do the making video, the BTS. So I've not been getting time to do that. It's been from very long time. Nagar footage undi, I need to cut it down and edit it. So if I start the script, I'll release, and the BTS how it's been done, that will be released, and the OST that people have been asking. So three of things. When I start it, I'll do it in an order. In a week or two, I'll do that. So storyboard is ready. You can go and check in my Instagram page. It's somewhere over there. Yeah.
We also have another aspiring actress, the Rowdy Rani herself, Vinita. Will there be the same main actors in the full feature as Manasanamaha?
No. The cast will be different.
Cast will be different. Okay.
It depends on there's not been any commitment, but it will be a bigger scale and bigger. It depends on that. We have to be casting. As for the short, they've been perfect. I thought so. That I've casted them. But for the feature, it's a different story and everything. So it's not going to be like Manasanamaha. So the casting will be different.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Then we have our budding director, Mr. Mohan. He is asking, did you have to go to an institute to learn direction? I think you mentioned this, but or was it a self-taught experience? And he said already, yes, that he didn't go to anywhere. We have another question about learning. Is it necessary to learn in film institution to get into film industry? I think you already mentioned no. And Mohan also had, do you have any thoughts about the emerging indie film scene in Telugu film industry?
Yeah, well, it started a while ago, 2015-16 nunchi. See the major very big, it's like Peli Chupulu, it's an indie film. Care of Kancharapalam is an indie film. Arjun Reddy is a part indie film. So there are a lot of things that's been made like that. I love indie filmmaking. That's where the director gets most of his his vision onto the screen. It's easy because he'll be the producer most of the time, or even if a producer is there, see everything will be in your hands. Indie film is what మనకు నచ్చింది మనం చేస్తాం చూసుకున్నా అది indie film. That's highest chance that you can make. It has its pros and also cons. So specifically in Telugu industry, because you need a big production and all to support you in other aspects like marketing, distribution, and all stuff. Or it's always better in Telugu industry to have a producer like in a big production. But you can make indie films too. the big, you have examples like huge hit films in Telugu. So it's a parallel industry that has to grow a lot. I support indie filmmaking, and my short is also an indie film that has been done.
Correct.
So definitely, yeah.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. Okay, Mohan. Okay. We have somebody else asking, will there be any casting auditions for this movie?
Yeah, they'll be casting. Like for the short itself, I've auditioned around 60 people, like
Okay.
40 girls for the Chaitra role, and almost 5 to 10 guys for the Surya's role. I've done a lot of casting and auditions for the short, and for the feature too we'll have, but not anytime soon. It will take some time. It will be
Okay.
this year. We can't be shooting any films, and specifically in the US, it's not. ఇప్పుడు చాలా కష్టం చేయడం, so it will be sometime next year. So I'll let you know, guys. I'll keep you posted when we go. అంత దూరం వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత you can check my updates where you can get to see them.
Yeah. My girlfriend Koda is very interested. Niranjani, Jani Rad, like she is not even Telugu, but she still wants to maybe be in the background. So, or be the heroine because she's that talented. But we have another question from Avi Makina. He goes to Northeastern University in Boston. He is asking, what is the best way to pitch a script to producers? Are there any specific contacts or ways to get in touch with them in the industry?
If I had that Naka chance, I wouldn't have made the short film. I made the short film just to get a because it is so difficult for me to reach out to producers. I made the short film. So the best way that you can do something, being an independent artist or a direct filmmaker or an actor, is to make something which can impress people. So that's the easiest way to reach out to them. If you have something, then solid ga. So that's how you can, or otherwise you have to waste your 5 to 10 years of your life working as an ADs or working as an extra, as a lot of other stuff, and then you need to have a show reel of yours, and then you approach that you have, sir, I have worked for these many films, so please give me a chance, sir, I have worked in these many films. This is what I'm against too. That is the reason you just make something out of your own, so that it's easier for you to get into film. I recommend it.
Okay, great. So you heard it, guys. Take initiative, make your own production, anything of value, put it out there on free areas such as YouTube for the world to see. So that's great advice. And then Mr. Anil Sankaramanchi, Telugu American actor, getting into Telugu movies himself. So we have people who have recently been heralding pan-India movies. Do you think the OTT space will create a space for pan-global content where media is made with global sensitivities, not just Desi in mind? Any thoughts on that, sir?
Of course, there's a show that I've watched on Netflix, which is an Indian show. What is it? I forgot.
Sacred Games.
No, the Netflix show is based
Indian
in
matchmaking.
Indian American. No, the one before that.
Oh, Never Have I Ever.
Never Have I Ever. Yeah. I've seen that. I'm not a great fan, but yeah, I've seen it, and it's such a huge blockbuster. So ayanta pedda hit ayindante, there's nothing that I haven't seen before in that. So that's this is the film that the characters and all that I've seen, which the story, there's nothing new in it. But how could like the whole world see just a story of an Indian girl? So అది చూసారు అంటే, see, the outside people also wants to know how, like it's just about it's been made well, and it's in the best platform ever. Netflix is the best OTT platform ever. So దాంట్లో మనం ఏంటి, మేము తీసిన సినిమా ఏంటి అన్నది, even if it's an average film or a good film, even if it's a bad film, then you get exposure and a lot of people get to watch it. If it is good and if it's decent, then ఎంతమంది చూస్తున్నారో మీరే చూడండి. So there's the power of film. It doesn't matter if it's made by an Indian or if it's acted by Indians. It doesn't matter. So a lot of people get related to film. Uh, అలా
Yeah.
if it's good, it's working. But ఏంటంటే మన ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది కాబట్టి, so if you make the same show and put it on YouTube, so even if you make better film than that, people might not watch it because ఏంటంటే who are you to watch? Even if it's good, people won't care and it's difficult for them to market and all. So you have already Netflix, another is like biggest OTT ever, so the marketing stuff and all is done, and it's been done by very good writers and filmmakers that have been already established and all. So that's an easy thing. So atla నేనేమంటానంటే definitely OTT is a plane where any kind of people, any kind of films can be done and can be released, and అవి చాలా పెద్ద హిట్ అవ్వచ్చు, మనకు ఆఫర్స్ రావచ్చు, ఆపర్చునిటీస్ రావచ్చు, ఆర్ ఏదైనా అవ్వచ్చు. సో నౌ దేస్ నో బ్యారియర్ యాజ్ ఇఫ్ తెలుగు ఏం లేదు, ఇట్లా లేదు, హిందీ అంతా ఏం లేదు. ఇఫ్ యూ మేక్ ఇట్ వెల్, you will create your own audience. So global ga, that's an example. There are a lot of shows which have been watched by all people, not just Indians. Like everybody is watching. So the answer lies in like there itself.
Okay. Thank you. The next question is from an Telugu small short film actor, Tejesh Veera, on Instagram. He messaged me. They did a color palette for the film Manasanamaha. Was it done before or after the production? I'm not technically in tune to know if that question even makes sense.
Color palette is what you need to have in your mind before you shoot it. Yeah, that has to be done before. There's no other option. Like you can shoot the film and then can do color palette. So color palette lies in the costumes that you wear, the backgrounds that you use. So everything in the frame that comes under, the colors that you use in the film, it comes under color palette. So it can be done in the poster after it. So everything is pre-planned. So what kind of outfit you should be wearing? If it's a green background, if
hello, yep,
rates should be used here. So all these kind of things should be planned in pre-production itself. So it's been done before.
Okay. Then we have Niranjani Radhakrishnan. She is saying, Jani Rad, she's saying, I resonated with that show a lot. I think she's talking about Never Have I Ever. I've never seen anything quite like that before. Okay. Mohan, do you think the dramatization of the story, he's referring to Never Have I Ever, do you think the dramatization of the story can somewhat have negative effects on the representation of Indian Americans?
Yeah, that's what I felt from the show. But a lot of Indian American friends that I had, they said it's very relatable and they had this kind of life. So I could see my mom in there and my dad in there. So I thought the film was over dramatized. Like all the I know there can be some kind of you can get related to all kind of scenes that happen in films. That's why films are being made. See, some people think, you can see the Balakrishna's movies, so where they think, some people think it's funny, but some people really think, I know people from Rayasima and all, they really think that this kind of things happen, this kind of fights happen. So there's like people, if you want to get related, you'll get related. So if they come and say, see, this is how my mom used to behave.
Right.
I don't have anything to say. I just felt it's dramatic because they say that you don't know this. They simply say you don't know this. I've grown up like this, and my friends were like this. My mom is like, I have to Then that is why the show is hit, because people are recognizing themselves and they're it's representing them in a way.
Okay. Well, sir, thank you so much. That's all the questions we have. Asa chala thank you. Chala ధన్యవాదాలు మమ్మల్ని ఇలాగ ఆహ్వానించినందుకు, and also just talking to us about your experience. I think this audience here is pretty satisfied with your responses, and I think you've definitely given them some motivation about like creating something of their own for the world to consume, and then showing people like, hey, I can do this. This is what I can do. Take me. I think that's the big takeaway for everybody. And once again, we're all very looking forward to what you're going to be doing next, and hopefully some of us can work with you when you shoot in the States. And Tapakunda, let us know when it comes closer to the actual film, and we would love to have you on for another interview then. But stay safe. Thank you so much. Andarki namaskaram. Deepak Reddy garu, thank you so much. Everybody follow
Thank you.
Masalainurdosa for more Telugu identity conversations and many more interviews like this. Thank you so much. Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Prithvi.
Yeah. Thank you guys. That was awesome.